What's up, everyone? Welcome back for another video. Thanks for joining me. If you're already subscribed, thank you. If not, hit that subscribe button and join along for the ride, I guess. If you didn't watch the last video, go ahead, go watch that quick. I'll link it up here. But went to the store, got fuses, and going through my drawers to see where my relays were, I realized I had my old switch panel that had the fuses on it. Whatever. Won't hurt to have more fuses. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to work on making the headlights work the proper way, because right now they work just low beams, and I think I was explaining in the other video, I did some research, found how to wire them correctly, or what at least I think is correctly, based on some forums. Got two relays, going to do left and right. I have my little switch, my little fuse panel in the car, so I'm actually just going to wire, I'm just going to send a wire straight to that, because then that's connected to battery, which is going to be your best lead. Nice strong power for the high beams. What we're going to do with that, I have a bunch of extra wiring also. I'm just going to run it straight around the outside of the car for now, just to make sure it works instead of going crazy and running wires all nice and neat. And then probably off camera I'll run that nice and neatly. What we got to find, remember I was talking about those 3 wires if you remember the last video. So that's your pin for your Zenki harness. So you have, this is low beam power, this is ground, and this should actually be high beam power. That's not a return or a negative, I don't think. We're actually gonna we're gonna clip that wire off because I have the 2 spliced together coming off the car's harness. Gonna clip those apart. Test this wire when I hit the high beam switch on, which that should give this power, then we know we're in business. So I have wiring on how it's supposed to go, and if you always look at the top, if you look at your relays, they tell you which pin is which. Gonna go off that, go off this, hopefully we work. It's gonna work, not hopefully, it's gonna work. As you see, got the hood propped open, we got the battery on a battery tender, so let's get cracking with this. Let's kick this into high gear. I'll stop. Alright, so I'm actually not going to test out, I'm not going to plug the high beam back in and test it out. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to turn the low beams on and then hit the high beam switch and test the wire to see if that has power. Right now the high beam switch is on and you see the headlights turned off. I believe hooking this relay up is going to fix that problem. It's going to leave your low beams on and turn the high beams on. Right now, if I plug the high beam bulb in, I think these will turn on, but low beams off. So what you really want with the relay is leaving the low beams on with the high beams. It's probably too much load for the circuit, that's why I popped the fuse. Yep, we got power on the other wire. So the other wire is the high beam wire. So if you want to go back and watch the other video and see kind of my mistakes, you'll see what I did. I try to put, when I mess up with things like this, I try to put it in the videos just to show that it's real life and not everything's perfect. Sometimes you mess up. It is what it is. So what we have here, this is the old Zenki harness, this side of it. Let me get a light to make it better. This side of it is the old Zenki harness, if it will focus. So you have the red with the yellow stripe is the power wire for your low beam. The black wire is your ground, and then the red wire with the black stripe is your high beam power. Then on the other side, the passenger side, same setup, but just different wires. You have the red with the blue stripe is your low beam power, and then the red with the green stripe is your high beam power. Alright, so now that we figured out the wiring issue, I guess the other thing that was popping the fuse was that I had the high beam wire connected to a ground, and that was popping the fuse, but it didn't pop right away when whatever, it doesn't matter. It's fixed now, at least that's not happening. Here's the pinout for the relay. Pretty sure they're all basically the same. Gonna follow that with the wiring scheme that was on Zilvia, and we're gonna see if this works. Wish us luck. So this is the wiring I followed. If you cross-reference that to your actual wiring schematic for your for your relay, that's what it looks like. So looking at this, pin 30 goes to load beam projector, which was green on that little harness, that little plug that I have, if you remember from the last video. High beam power, number 85 and 87. I actually spliced the two of those together, so the black wire and the yellow wire got spliced together and got connected right into that red with the black stripe, if I remember correctly. Just remember to do your testing to find which wire is which for your high beam, but I believe it was the red with the black stripe on this side and red with green on that side. Then low beam power was 87A, which was your red wire, went from the OEM harness, which was red with the yellow stripe, if I remember correctly, right into that, and then your grounds. So the yellow from the little pigtail from the headlight, and the black from the OEM harness got connected into, which number? 86, which is white. This is what it looks like here. That's your, yeah. The green and yellow from here are the plugs going into the back of the headlight. So your low beam, then this wire here is your low beam power. These two wires here are your high beam power, connected down there. So not too bad. That worked for me. Alright, so that's it. Very simple fix to this issue that I had. If you look at that wiring that I showed on my phone and you compare it to the relay wiring, it doesn't make sense at all, because the way the wiring's supposed to hook up, I think blue is supposed to be constant power, white's supposed to be to switch, yellow I think is what's powering whatever you want to power with the relay, and this is like all out of whack, but it works somehow. So going with that wiring, follow that wiring, you'll get it working, no problem. I decided against running a wire into the interior of the car to that little fuse panel that I have, because these wires are going to the OEM fuse box, which is fused. If you don't have the OEM fuse box, or you're running these like separate from all that, make sure you fuse this, because you don't want to burn up your wires or anything like that. But it should, hopefully I made it somewhat easy to follow along. Lights are working. It's a plus, even though I've driven this car maybe 2 or 3 times in the dark since I've had it, but it's working now. Next thing I gotta tackle is the turn signals. Just gotta find the right sockets. I still didn't even bother looking for them, but we'll get to it. Not too bad. So thank you for joining me. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave some comments down below, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff, and keep the videos going. Race car.